In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make a princess dress with the Amelie pattern. I've actually changed this idea a little bit. I would not recommend that you do the neckline, the daisy neckline with this dress, but instead do it like I've photoshopped here quite nicely. Have the ribbing on the arms and the neckline just like the main dress. So you need the jersey for the top. I've actually used some embroidery as well, saying because I'm a princess, which I think is quite nice. I'm using netting for the sleeve, and I'm also using netting to make the skirt. I've got 4 layers, so 2 layers come with a pattern, and I've just made 2 more in between layers. You need to join the side seams with the right sides facing each other first. And I do that straight on the overlocker because there's no reason really to sew this. It is a kind of a play dress, so make sure that you stretch out the overlocking. It tends to bunch up in places when you do this. Then you set your overlocker to the narrow rolled edge hem. There's actually a really good video on this, so I'm going to give you a link underneath in the description. Take the guide out and the left needle, and basically that's it. That will reduce the width of the overlocking to make it narrower, which will look quite pretty. I actually didn't make it that narrow here. I don't know why that was. It's just one of them things. But you can get it really, really tiny, which looks really lovely, especially if you are making dance costumes or something like that. Mine is a little bit wider. Then you have to put the layers into each other. So obviously the longest layers at the bottom, and then the shorter layers go on top of that until you've got them all together. And just put the side seams here on top of each other, so it's left on right, left on right, left on right, obviously. It's also a bit tedious, but once you've done that, you can go around and put the gather stitches in. Next we are going to do the Amelie sleeves, and we do that exactly the same as we do on the standard film, but I'm putting the sleeve cuff on straight away, both sides, and that is a little bit more difficult. You can do it as I've done in the Amelie dress, or you can do it like this. If you are a bit more experienced, you can get them on together, and then that just needs overlocking. Now we're going to put the sleeves in, so right sides facing each other on either side. Sew those in, and again, I don't pin anything for this. I expect that people making this are quite experienced, to be honest, and if you're working with some netting like this, because otherwise it'll just get really complicated. If you haven't got the experience, then maybe you want to make the standard Amelie dress first and have a little bit of a practice. Overlock it all. Close the side seams as well, and you can do that in one go. I'm using here just my overlocker to do it, and then as you get to the end, you just go a little bit further so that you can lift the presser foot, and then you can flip over your piece, go a little bit in again, and then just do a few more stitches, and that'll lock in the stitch. You can also just pull it through with a big needle, also good. Now we want to put the side seam of the skirt on the side seam of the dress, right sides facing, and once I've done that, of course, I can then gather the whole lot to make it fit. You want to put the gathers in so that they fit snappily, and then you can also adjust them a little bit more and pin them on. And then I'm going to use just a big stitch to go all the way through, because we're going to overlock that, and that will have some stretch in it. But the first stitch, of course, is just to hold it in place. So I've done my overlocking, and I can now pull out my stay stitch and also my stitches for my gathering stitches, and I've got these beautiful layers inserted now. You could just leave it like this, of course. I just want to show you up here. This is why I'm not showing it on the video, because I used the daisy top and it has this facing, which of course is clearly visible through the netting, so I had to cut it back and hand stitch it and That is why this method, in the end, I discarded for this sort of dress. I would definitely just do the Amelie one. So what you do is you take 2 of the layers, you bunch them together, twist them and sew it. And then in that area you can put a bow or you could put a rose. It's very common, this technique. So all it is just pick it up, twist it round and then stitch across it with a sewing machine to get this bunched up look, which looks really pretty. And if you want to find me over my YouTube channel, you just scroll down to the playlists and click on the Daisy and Amelie. And on there you will find the Amelie dress. You should definitely watch that first before you make this, because it explains the whole lot in much more detail. And when you go down in the description, it will give you the link to the pattern as well. Now in this case, I've actually got the link for both patterns, Daisy and Amelie, the double pack, which is a little bit cheaper than buying them separately, but you don't really need that for this. So if you need to find the single pattern, you just click on Sew Like a Pro, which takes you back to the shop. Decide which format you need, A4 or US letter size. Click on A4 if that's what you need, and then click on the dress. And you can just do add to cart then. Obviously I can't do it because it's my own account there. If you've forgotten how to get to the video again, you can just copy and paste the YouTube video in your browser. That's at the bottom of the description in the pattern. And then that'll take you straight back to the video. And there's the pattern underneath in the description. It's always the same. So watch the Amelie tunic first and then get started on this one. So thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time.